Nick, you and I just off the phone now with the potential buyer of these tax losses in Australia, following on from our announcement this morning regarding the placement. Give us some insight into how that discussion went.
It was a really good conversation, Andrew. We've been in exclusive discussions with a potential counterparty for coming up to a month now. In fact, it's coming up to renewal fairly shortly. I would say the conversation just had probably couldn't have gone any better. We're beginning to sort of sketch out what the structure is. As we've outlined in announcements, although we talk about selling tax losses, actually we're selling a company that's got assets and liabilities and tax losses, and getting that package right for the prospective buyer is really what it's all about. But I would say actually this morning we're taking quite big leaps forward, and that's not to say there were problems in the past, but I think a lot of the uncertainties I think were maybe clouding some of the future direction I think have just been resolved. So I'm feeling pretty good about it.
And I think it's worth pointing that out. Regarding the placement this morning, this is no reflection on ECR's projects nor those tax loss discussions.
No, it's independent. I mean, there's obviously been a fair bit of disappointment in the market, and I fully understand that. We've had a very strong share price over the last few weeks, and we have had, as people would expect, approaches from various investors or various brokers about the ability to raise money for us. We've pushed all of those back, but there comes a point where we have to look forward and we have to take a long-term decision. We're in a fairly uncertain world. I mean, nothing to do with what's going on with gold in Australia, but there's quite a lot of uncertainty around the world on the macro level. Our responsibility as a board is to make sure that our projects and our plans for 2025 are funded. As of this morning, they are. And I don't say that lightly. I know we've caused a fair bit of disappointment, as I said, with investors who may well have come in a different price, may well have hoped that we would have staved off the fundraising until the tax loss sale was done. But we have to act as a responsible board, and we have to take a long-term view, and that's what we've done. And I hope over the coming weeks and months, investors will reflect that actually ECR is now fully funded for all of its planned opportunities. The tax losses come through, even better. And we've got sort of a terrific balance sheet. But in the short term, irrespective of what happens around the world's economy, around world stock markets, we've got our funding, and that was the objective.
And what near term, Nick, what are you most looking forward to at ECR?
Well, near term, I mean, the tax losses are sort of the big flashing light above us. I mean, that's been very much sort of a topic that people have spoken about, and it's a slightly odd thing to say. I mean, here we are, we're a gold exploration company, and we're actually talking about financial engineering. But that's been an area that's been rightly important to investors, given the quantum of funds that could come in. And as we said a few minutes ago, that's been a very positive developments this morning. The other one that really stands out to me is Blue Mountain. Convention tells you that small resource companies listed on the market are meant to find ideas, find exploration projects, prove up the beginning of a resource, then hand them on. Well, I think we're about to break the mold. We could be capable of going into production on one of our tenements. In other words, we could start generating revenue. And that would put us in a very, very small minority of companies in our space. And I don't just mean gold, I mean, right across the resources space. So that is something that's very attainable. And we've said before, in Blue Mountain, we're not drilling into the Earth's core. This is 4 meters down. This is a trenching operation. It's a gravity-fed operation. It's a straightforward project, or as straightforward as exploration and production projects go. So I think that's for me, that's the very sort of near or medium term opportunity that we'll look to develop over 2025. And again, that's what the funding this morning does. It enables us to take Blue Mountain forward. And if in a few months' time we can say we're beginning to commercialize that project, we're approaching revenue, that's a game changer.
Good to speak, Nick. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Andrew.